Hello, I'm Nancy Reggie, and here today we have with us Mr. Abraham Vargas. He has been working in the United Kingdom for the past 45 years, during which time he has practiced as a barrister. And today we will be discussing about a few words that is not much familiar among our conversation. And shall we start, sir?
Yes, of course we can. Yes.
So first we have alternative medicine.
Alternative medicine. Alternative medicine are those forms of Ayurveda, anything that's considered non-Western modern medicine is considered as alternative medicine. You've got besides Ayurveda, you've got something else also. Homeopathy, right. Okay. They are all very studied forms of science, and they've got a very, very long history. And just like, for example, in China, you have acupuncture, where you don't need to anesthetize anybody. The operation can be done as long as the acupuncture is accurate. The client will not feel any different from having had an anesthetic to have an operation. They are very good alternatives. They need to be developed. There are lots of scientific aspects in them that are yet to be studied and understood fully. But there are experts in India, in China, and in other places who have spent a lifetime and have followed these practices, and they will be soon in fashion, okay? If not at the given level of Western medicine at the moment, at least certainly high enough for people to choose alternatively to what Western medicine provides.
Fine. Next, we have art.
Art. Art is a wonderful word. It's so simple, isn't it? Art, A-R-T. Sure. But what all does it mean? It means, for example, the art of karate, the art of drawing, the art of sculpturing, the art of talking, the art of acting, and a whole range or raft of words that art means. Basically, I would say that art is actually a wonderful word, openly available to any form of activity of humankind. I hope I'm not too generalized about it, but you see, for example, cooking is an art.
Yes.
Wearing a dress properly is an art. Okay? Almost everything that you do, if you do it properly, and it's of a if it's a certain standard, then you can quite easily say it's an art to do it. Okay?
Point.
Including making up your face. It's an art. Okay? So, yes, that is broadly speaking how I look at art.
The next one is an uncommon word among students, that is bureaucracy.
Bureaucracy. Well, you see, bureaucracy is a very, very, very powerful unit within the government, and it is something that hides the inner state of the country. We think that the Prime Minister, or in certain countries, the President, occupies the full power of that country. But in real terms, it is people behind the power and behind that power. And the bureaucracy are very capable with, and are actually very, how can I say, not just clever, but very cunning in the way that they deal with politicians to actually steer them in a given direction in order to make them achieve what the bureaucrats have got in mind, which they think is in the best interest of society. And if you don't agree, they have got numerous ways of delaying the process so that it becomes irrelevant or it affects your standing amongst the public. And that damage is something very difficult to retrieve. Now, behind the bureaucracy, there is another kind of bureaucracy. It's called the deep state. That's also a form of bureaucracy, who actually decide which direction the country is going in or is to go to. Because They are the ones who control the strings from the back. They are extremely powerful people, hardly heard of, hardly known, but it is within them that the actual power of a country lies. The Prime Minister and the President and so on and so forth are only extended branches of that main power, that main root. Okay? It does not mean that dictators or certain very powerful leaders cannot get to that root.
Okay.
They can. But sometimes they choose not to, because that will disrupt a lot of activity, political activity, and can cause serious defensive snags and also a sense of vulnerability to the whole system.
Fine. Then we do have carbon footprint.
Carbon footprint is something that's very current.
Okay.
It's a very sad state of affairs because we, mankind, have not realized the damaging effect that we have imprinted on this earth because of our greed, our need for exploitation, our constant search for resources, during which time we make numerous mistakes with the earth. We try all kinds of what I call daft things, and then being put under the scope of science, it is passed on, it's possible. People will say, oh, it's a scientific investigation. But beyond that, there are some very disturbing events that take place that the general public are not aware of. It's either deliberately kept from them or someone decides that it's not something that the public should actually know about. So bureaucracy itself is actually a very powerful section of government where they don't agree with the policy of the government properly, and they together decide that they are going to delay the process, or they find or they anticipate some danger for the country which has not been foreseen by the leadership. They will act quietly in order to make sure that the situation is kept under control.
Sir, so carbon footprint and bureaucracy is in one or the other way interlinked.
Sorry, I shouldn't have brought in bureaucracy, yes.
But it did interlink between each other.
Yes, it did. Okay, because with carbon footprinting, what happens is that you need the support of the bureaucracy in order to get an activity done. Okay, or to control an activity, right? Such as mining, such as petroleum finding, such as looking for particular kinds of metals in the earth, etc., etc., etc. For that, government permission is required. And if government permission is required, it involves the bureaucracy. Okay? And the carbon footprints that we talk about are the real damaging aspects of what we have done to nature that can actually affect our lives and the future of this planet in time to come. Okay? So these carbon footprints, right, must be stopped, and we must find alternatives to what carbon and other forms of energy resources are that we are using at the moment, because they are basically carbon formats.
Okay. So that's it for this video. I hope all these 4 words that we have dealt today had helped you throughout the day. Thank you.